I mean, wicked can just be more than just a word, a descriptor word. Like it can be an
An
actual
adjective.
noun.
Barding. Ah.
These
I don't know
things.
any of these things besides
How
Bree's
do you
hockey
how do you
journey.
We got our first hater the other day.
shout out to my dad?
That made me mad. Now I'm triggered.
Oh, and god damn it. What a pro wants. What a pro needs.
The only game I've watched this year is where the Blues got booted.
It's
So,
game 7. Yeah.
yeah.
I thought that was the case. I was like, hey, he
So-
tuned in. Like he actually he was like, you know what? Game 7, I gotta tune in.
Yeah, I did, and I was like, felt pretty good for most of the game, and then the last
Yeah.
game, I'm like, they're like fully turtling, like they're just letting it just run, and
Cost him.
it sure did.
I'm glad that you did stay up to watch the end of the game too, because it went into double overtime. I
Yeah.
mean, it wasn't like it ended quickly in the first OT. It was like, yeah, it was starting to get a little bit late. So
Yeah,
Good
it was
on
like,
you.
all right, well, if it's game 7, like the last time I watched one of these game 7s, I was very happy. So
I wasn't.
that's true. Uh,
Oh, I guess I wasn't even thinking of that one. I was thinking of the one when they played the Stars and Pat Maroon
yeah.
knocked in that one. But yeah, the other game 7, when they
That
won the
was pretty
cup,
good too.
that was all right.
I thought that you were thinking of the maroon one too. I was I know like obviously winning the cup was in game 7 was awesome, but it's like
Yeah.
that wasn't necessarily the most memorable game of the season or of the playoffs for them. So
No, but I do remember Marchand's horrible change.
oh yeah. I mean yeah, they looked pretty good for most of that game. So the like for Blues fans, it was a lot of excitement for most of the game versus
Yeah.
like obviously Ferdini doesn't remember it so fondly because it really didn't seem like the Bruins had it for like a majority of the game.
Yeah,
I
it
was
was
like,
like 1-0.
I
I'm
think
like, this
Magic's
game
gone.
already feels like it's kind of over.
It's over.
Yeah, we're done. We're cooked.
Funny to like see names of coaches and players, and I'm like, oh, you weren't there before.
Yeah, you probably got a good bit of catching up to do.
Yeah, like I don't even know that I knew Berube was in Toronto
Mm-hmm.
until fairly recently. I'm trying to think. Where's Blake Wheeler? Where's that man?
TNT
Oh,
desk.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was there for the Jets Stars game I think last night or 2 games ago, and they had the interview with Shifley, and he was like, "Wheels." He's like, "What's going on?" He was like, "Oh my god!" He was so surprised to see him like dressed up and slicked back and everything. Pretty funny.
And then who was the other? Oh, obviously, like Marchand on the Panthers is insane to me.
Pretty crazy. And he's been playing pretty well.
And Carlo being a Leaf is gross too.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. Wait, I can't imagine Brad Marchand and Matthew Tkachuk being on the same team.
And Sam Bennett.
And Sam Bennett.
Oh, no.
Man, I
That's
really hate
miserable.
Florida and Toronto. I just want that series to not exist.
Everybody gets hurt. They actually have to go back around and restart.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? I mean, I feel like we've already been underway for like 5 or 10 minutes here, but I guess.
Have we been recording?
Oh yeah, I mean,
We're always
we've
recording.
Oh, really?
We're dialed in. Yeah. See how easy it was? It flowed. It flowed
Yeah.
pretty good. I mean, we'll see how much we.
Well, see, you'll
use,
have to
if
start
anything.
coming on more so you can have like your own shtick like Owen does. This is the cold
Interesting.
open. You can find your own kind of niche,
He loves the cold open.
niche Justinism that you want on the for the pod.
Niche Justinism, you think? I'll be the I'm already the guy who doesn't watch hockey and is now on a hockey podcast.
You're not the first.
Yeah, no, I mean, not really. Like, Trevor was on, and he
Vanessa?
hardly watches. Yep. So we've had a couple other guests that are limited in their hockey watching / knowledge, but
And Bree just watches
Still fun.
whatever Brendan makes her watch.
yeah, mostly. There have been a couple times where she said she threw on a hockey game that when I wasn't there, and I was so proud in those moments.
In between periods, she's playing Smash. Like,
Yeah, it's like
she
whatever.
really was just missing you.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, folks, welcome to episode 93 of the Bread Loves Hockey podcast, and we have a very, very special guest here today. Kind of a folklore legend in the BLHP universe. You might remember him from photos like me and him on the ice at the Devils game, or him sitting on the couch in our senior college apartment. But he's finally made an appearance. We're so happy to have Justin Moore here for his first episode.
Hey everyone.
Thank you so much for taking the time.
Is this
It,
the
uh,
most
About
sought
time to
after
get over here, huh?
podcast guest in the history of the podcast?
Absolutely. And then now it's James Neal. He's the
Okay,
next
who's
one.
next? I'm
We're
honored to be
jumping
anywhere
up.
close to a list with James Neal, to be honest. Especially in the lore of the Bread Loves Hockey podcast.
It's pretty
The lore
serious.
runs deep.
Yeah, we got a whole document for it.
Honestly, I think it's a mistake that I came on this week and didn't come for like episode 100 or something.
We couldn't wait any longer.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah, we had to get you now.
Yeah.
I mean,
that mean-
unfortunately, we're a little set back from when the Blues season ended now, but we're pretty close, and we were obviously just chatting about it. So that's kind of still at the forefront, I guess, for most Blues fans. Still kind of digesting. They're in the Dean refractory period where they can't quite watch the next round yet. But ultimately, it was a pretty good season and pretty good, effort from them. When I
Yeah.
think most fans didn't expect them to be anywhere near the playoffs or Game 7.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly obviously did not watch too much throughout the year, but keeping up with a little bit when they started going on their win streak towards the end. I mean, breaking the record for the franchise is pretty great, and then
Yeah.
that was a very similar energy to 2019. So, I had to keep a little bit tuned in once we got into the playoffs.
Yeah.
So you said you only watched the Game 7, but were you following along during the series?
Yeah, I was checking the scores and seeing who all was pitching in and getting through. So, I mean, I think our biggest winner may have been Hellebuck actually for the Blues this series. So, I was pretty happy with that.
Well, I was gonna ask, like, before the series started, did you have expectations of going to a Game 7 or winning this series, or was it after a couple games you're like, oh, if Hellebuck is only gonna be an 800 save percentage goalie, maybe we can actually win this?
Maybe.
Yeah, it's exactly how it was. I think because we went down 2-0 first, right, before anything else, or before
Yeah.
we won a game. So I was like, all right, we're cooked. Like, this is exactly what I expected. And then I was keeping in tune with once they won, I was like, wait a minute. And then Brad, I think I was talking to you, and you're like, yeah, Hellebuck's got like a 840 save percentage right now. I'm like, oh, interesting.
Whoa. Yeah, I think it was like after Game 3 or Game 4, he had like an 817, and it was just brutal. He got pulled in all 3 of the Blues games, or not Blue. Well, in the
Away game.
away. Yeah, they were all Blues games, but yeah, the home team wins every game that series, and it looked like that trend was gonna end in Game 7. but it comes down to the wire. So, I mean, the Blues were
Yeah, second and a
dominating the
half.
first period. You know, like we recapped it a little bit how they had the 2-goal lead, and then they get the late goal at the end of the second period to make it 3-1, and it's like, oh, they're out of gas. And then less than 2 minutes to go, they get the first one with the extra attacker, and then obviously you saw the tying goal there. Like, you must have. I mean, I've seen a lot of reaction videos, and it's pretty tough to sit there, I'm sure.
It was like, well, once the first goal went in, I was like, oh boy, like
Like,
I
don't
didn't
do
want to be
this.
feeling anything at this point, and then they were just raining down shots on Bennington, and I was like, all right, well, if it happens, I can't even be surprised at this point. So I thought once we got below 5 seconds, maybe we'd be all right, but clearly not.
And it was a Sunday night game, right? So you probably went from like you're like, all right, gonna have a Blues win, go to bed on time, get out for work the next day,
Yeah.
and then I just went to actually have another 2 hours of hockey to
Like,
watch
dude.
or whatever.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, that's a central time too, so we're off an hour from where I'm at. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, we'll go to bed a little bit late tonight. That's fine. We're ready to go. And then the first overtime came. I'm like, well, now I gotta stay up. Like, I can't commit this hard for one game and not
Yeah, that's
finish
fair.
it out, right?
I think the hardest
Right.
part is like you go through an overtime. Like now I have to sit for like 18 minutes just waiting for it to get back to hockey. I'm like, I know
What are
Yeah,
we
it
gonna
Brendan,
do?
is.
Brendan and I have
10 o'clock
talked
at
about
night.
this. Like we've taken naps during intermissions of the late games. Just a quick 15
Definitely.
minute cat
Yeah.
Yep,
nap.
15
Well,
minutes.
Yeah, you guys are off on time zones too. Like, Brendan,
Yeah.
you being a Golden Knights fan is brutal. Like, I can't
It's
even
awful,
imagine.
I love
man. I
complaining
mean,
about the late
I do
games
my
to
best.
Brendan. I'm like, oh, I got to stay up till 11 tonight.
Yeah, Dean, that's too
Brendan's like,
bad.
oh, it's actually 3 o'clock for me.
Yeah, I mean that you'd be getting into like playoff overtime territory there. Like luckily, yeah, 3 a.m. I don't think I've hit before, but probably the longest was that Canes Panthers 4 OT game that went to like 2 in the morning. That one was I still don't know why I committed to staying up for that one, but I watched the first overtime and I was like, all
There you
right,
go.
I'm in. Like, let's go. And of course, as the minutes are dwindling down in each of the periods, you're like, please don't do this. Someone has to make a decision now because I cannot take another one of these. And then you do. You're like, okay, I guess I'm staying up. So
That
yeah,
was
and the first period of overtime for the Jets Blues game was pretty boring. Like from what I remember, there were not a lot of chances. I think Gifford and Owen were on the voice call, and we were just like, man, like we're all watching, but we were mostly just chatting about other stuff because there wasn't a whole lot to be excited about in the
yeah,
game,
yeah.
which was too bad. And then of course the second overtime, it's a deflection that ends up beating Bennington. It's just that's what happens. It's the playoffs, and you
Not
don't
much you
always
can
get those
do.
coin
Yeah, yeah,
flips.
yeah.
So can't
Yeah.
really blame Bennington for that one. I think it's pretty tough to react to that kind of shot where it goes underneath the pad.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he seemed
that
to play
that
really
ends
well.
the season.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
did.
overall he was good.
Have your thoughts on Bennington changed in the past year or two
No,
or whatever?
I still love the chaos. Like, he's a mess, but he's our mess. You know.
Yeah. I mean, it's like all the kind of more ratty players. Like, it's you'd love to have him on your team type thing, but it's like, does that apply to goalies too? It's like, I don't know.
Right.
I've never had I guess Tim Thomas is the closest to like wild card goalie
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Or
that
Fleury
Bruins have had.
sometimes was similar in that the way that he was so acrobatic for some saves, but then it's like, yeah, you don't know, he might let in like a squeaker every once in a while. But yeah, Bennington, it's tough because I don't remember. I think I was talking about this with Zane, where it's like he makes it so hard to not root for him despite all of like the good things about like how he plays. Like he's a very positionally sound. He's able to track pucks like really efficiently. Um, he's very calm in like high pressure situations. Obviously, got the cup
Until he's
pedigree
not.
and all that. Yeah, not this time.
Does he
But
look nervous?
Yeah.
but no, yeah, exactly. Like and yet I still can't really be a fan of his. Can't really root for him because of everything else associated with him and his personality, and you know I just can't get there.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Although to this day, I'll still always be upset about um, the fact that him and Fleury didn't get to drop the gloves.
Oh my god, yeah, that
That would have
the
been prime TV right there. Like,
absolutely, the refs definitely did us a disservice by not letting that one go.
sure.
They were like, because that was like the heat of like the rivalry too. I think they had already had like another heated game earlier in that season or something. So yeah, that's too bad. But yeah, overall, I mean, going into the season, I don't think Dean or I had high hopes for them to make another return to the playoffs. I think they had been their second season that they had missed in a row, maybe their second or third, I think, and they were trending towards like doing a possible rebuild or something. And they end up doing the retool on the fly sort of thing with the RFA offer sheets there for Broberg and Holloway, and that kind of like accelerated things. And then they just had a bunch of strong acquisitions during the regular season. They picked up Ryan Suter, and they who there was another veteran they picked up too, from the Ducks. I can't remember. I got it
Oh,
right here. Hold on.
wasn't it? What's his face? He scored in the Winter Classic, right?
Cam Fowler. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. He had, was it the hat trick in the
Uh,
Winter Classic or just two goals?
was it 2 goals? I just remember he hadn't scored in like forever and scored.
I think
Oh, because it was
I think he
one
had
game
two goals.
1,000 for him too, right? It was like a
Yeah. First player to have their 1,000th game in an outdoor game.
Oh, right,
He
right,
scores
right,
the
right.
goal. Yeah, he had like just been traded there like maybe a week or so ago.
Mhm.
It was so that one was a cool story. And yeah, he played really well in the playoffs too. Like in that series, he had like I want to say 5 or 6 points. Like he was doing. I mean, obviously it helps when Hellebuck is letting everything in, but
Everything.
still, good to see that he was contributing because he probably wasn't playing a ton of minutes either at his age. So it was good to see a lot of the young players still make strides, and then the veterans able to complement the rest of the core out. And yeah, obviously the 12 game win streak propelled them into the playoffs. So not something you would expect them to be doing often, but they picked up the new coach in Montgomery, and that was a huge reason for why they made it.
Where was he? So he was an assistant coach after his little hiatus after the Stars. He was an assistant coach for the Blues. Where did he go in between?
You're saying
So
who is
in
it?
between the
Was
Blues and the Stars, you're talking
so
about?
he was in at the Stars, had a hiatus, and then was an assistant coach for the Blues for some amount of time. Did he just get promoted up to head coach, or did he go somewhere else in between?
You
Well,
asking
he was in Boston.
Montgomery?
Boston. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the coach when the Bruins had their record season.
Oh, right.
65 win season, yeah.
He
And
was
so they
he was
let
only
him
there
go
for
during the season.
like 2.5 years maybe. He wasn't
Yeah,
there
it was like
long.
one
It
full
wasn't long, but
season. I think he was promoted, um, or he was hired on the off season, maybe when Bruce Cassidy left, and then Then he was there for the full season, and then he got fired this year. So, Blues snatched him up real quick, and obviously having the relationship there helped them, I'm sure. But I think Drew Bannister was not proving to be worthy enough of keeping that full-time head coaching job. He didn't really exceed expectations enough where it's like, okay, yeah, I think I'm comfortable with signing him long term. But you don't feel the same way at all about Jim Montgomery, of course. Definitely want him to stick around. He's had so much success in the league. So that's good, and that'll help them with whatever the next phase is for this off season. I don't know. Do you know a ton about the core of the team? Or I didn't know if you had ended up looking at the roster construction at all.
Let me take a peek at the roster really quick.
I would actually be interested to see how many players you do know that are on the team before looking. I think that
looking, huh?
we like doing these kind of little games.
Let's see. It's not.
This one will be a
I'm
quick
gonna
one.
embarrass myself here, but so we got Brayden Shen as captain. We got one.
That's a great start.
Jordan Kyrou.
Yeah.
Who seems to have stepped up a lot since I have last watched.
He's their highest paid player, tied with one other player.
Which would be Robert Thomas, I believe.
Signed identical deals, yep. There we go.
Buchnevich.
Yes.
He was there for a couple games when I was watching.
He's their next highest paid.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to guess the next one right off the bat.
No, probably not. Then let's go, we can go to D-Corps, because Pareko's still there.
Yes.
I believe Krug is still there.
Technically.
He's on the roster, but we were just talking about last week that it looks like his playing career is done due to injury.
Yeah, I mean he
didn't
been
play this whole year
for a couple of years as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got Justin Falk.
Yes.
Still think that Pietrangelo would have been a better signing, but that's fine. You got Bennington.
Yeah. Yes, Bennington.
All right, hold on. And now I gotta remember because
you forgot about the other defender we were just talking about.
Yeah.
Winter Classic.
Cam Fowler.
Yeah.
Yep. And the two offer sheets. Those
Broberg
two.
was one of them. And I'm not gonna get the other one. I'm confident.
Oh, really? He's a forward from Edmonton. Well, obviously they were both Edmonton.
What about the Blues rookie with the fun name?
Holloway.
Okay, so this is the one I was thinking of because I saw him in Springfield because my sister lives out there.
Mm-hmm.
So she's gonna kill me actually because I think she really liked him and is mad that he actually got called up. But I can't get. I don't remember.
Because she couldn't get to watch him in Springfield during the. Were they Are they still in the playoffs or no? The Calder playoffs.
I actually don't know. Let me take a look.
I don't know where they're at right now.
The Providence Bruins got eliminated in Game 5 of whatever second round, I guess.
I believe Rochester is still in. I've seen a couple. I think Laval is still in.
I'm not seeing it on their website, so I'm gonna guess. That's not a good sign.
Probably not. But they could have used. I mean, you don't have a guess, right? I can just reveal the name.
You can go ahead and say it. Yeah.
Dalibor Dvorsky.
Yeah. You see, it sounds familiar, so I knew it. It wasn't gonna come out.
From Slovakia.
That's not even the fun name I was thinking of.
Wait,
it wasn't. Okay. I got the backup there. Yeah.
Well, no, he is a rookie, right? This is his first year on the team.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm like, wow, his name is. Every time I hear the announcer say his name, I'm like, it's such a funny name. Like.
See, I have a better chance with getting the veterans than I do
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
new guys.
yeah.
So
From
like,
when you
I
actually watched.
remember Sundquist was there. He
Yeah,
was
and he's still
playing.
here.
Is Nathan Walker still playing?
Yeah,
Yep.
I think he scored a goal in the series. Maybe even 2.
Sure, sure.
Why not?
I think that's probably where I'm gonna be done.
You're gonna tap out.
Yeah,
I
because
wonder if
I'm
there.
thinking
I'm wondering if there are
no
any others
Perron
that.
anymore, no O'Reilly.
No Shattenkirk. I know you loved him.
That was so long ago though.
Shatty Daddy
Is he still playing at all?
Well, he was on the Bruins for a
retired.
bit.
Okay.
I don't know if he
thought he
retired
was
after
on the
that year.
Bruins. He was
I think
on Ducks for a while.
Ducks,
He had a lot of trouble
Lightning.
finding a spot after he left the Blues.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, he was on the Lightning too.
The Bruins was his last year, yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
I guess Shattenkirk was only on the team like when you started watching, 16, 17 years.
Yeah, he
Then he
was
went-
there probably 1 or 2
Then
years.
he went to the Caps, then the Rangers, then the Lightning, then the Ducks, then the Bruins, and then he retired.
Yeah, he was all over.
Oh yeah, the Caps. Yeah.
All right,
61
I'm pulling
games.
up this
for the
roster
Bruins.
now because there's going to be some that I'm confident I should have.
The one I was hinting at was Jimmy Snuggerud.
Yeah, Snuggerud,
Mm-hmm.
college
That was a fun name.
player.
Oh, Jake Neighbors, I
Hof-
should have known.
Yeah, I was thinking Neighbors. Hofer is the backup. I don't know if you would have pulled him or not.
No, I was still thinking Huso for a moment. I knew it wasn't, but
No, he's bounced around a little bit since then.
where is he now?
Anaheim. I think he was in Detroit and then he got traded to Anaheim. I hope that's the last place. Let's see. Ville Husso, player, Anaheim Ducks. Let's go. I know some stuff. I know some things.
Oh, you do?
You
He's a
completely
hot guy?
useless things, but I know them. Can't take it away from me. But
I probably
yeah,
could have
definitely
gotten.
a different roster construction. Maybe Letty.
Yeah,
Would you
I
have?
could have gotten Letty. That one
Yeah.
because he just came from Detroit the last time I watched as well, and I probably also could have gotten Torpchenko.
Yeah. He was
that's
starting to
really
come
it.
up.
Yeah. But yeah, this is a very different roster than the last time I watched. No
Older.
Tarasenko. That's very sad.
Rip.
No O'Reilly.
No O'Reilly. That one really hurt actually. That was probably the nail in the coffin for me. That was when I was done.
Like, oh, okay. The daddies are gone. Like, I don't know
That's
what I'm
right.
even
That's
rooting for
right.
anymore.
Right.
Brutal. Well, they still had a pretty successful season, and we'll see.
did.
I think they've got a decent amount of money going into the off season. They got about 9 million or so. So yeah, I think they've got an opportunity to make another push for the playoffs next year, and that's exciting.
More offer sheets.
Yeah. They
Yeah,
already
they-
tweeted about it.
They
Yeah.
were hinting
Yeah,
at.
the
I thought that was
meme.
so funny.
Yeah.
They're like, what do we have here? Because
it's just so
yes,
fun because they like people are, or it seems like there's a general like don't offer sheet kind of vibe around the league, and like for even them to tweet that and be like, who cares? Like I'm allowed to do it, right? Like.
I wonder now
Yeah.
that it actually like helped the team make the playoffs. Other teams might be like, no, maybe we should try this.
Yeah, they've actually ushered in a new terrible era of offer sheets every year.
And they changed the payment because it used to be like I forget the exact numbers, but maybe like the 7 million and up. It was a first, second, and third rounder. Now it's just a first and third, just because with the cap going up,
Oh, wow.
like to kind of compensate for that, where players are gonna be making more. Of like a $7 million player 10 years ago isn't as elite of an all-star as a $7 million player will be today or in a couple years. So
True.
it costs less
they just
to do these offer sheets.
Yeah, they just announced the new boundaries, I guess, and the compensation for the salary. So that's what the Blues were reacting to, seeing like, okay, now that we got the numbers and we can see what we need in order to to do those. So actually, and I'm on cap wages here. You can go to their offer sheet calculator tool, and it'll show you which teams have meet the requirements for each potential offer sheet tier. So I'm actually surprised how many teams qualify for the 4 first-round picks, which is $11,700,193 and up. And yeah, the compensation being 4 first-round picks, and they have to be your own picks, which is is one of the caveats. So that's probably why some of these teams don't meet it. But it is interesting to see the breakdown.
Like if you've traded for a first-round pick, you can't use, like if the Blues got like the Detroit first-round pick, they can't use that for an offer sheet.
Right. But what the Blues did do before their offer sheet was they had traded some picks away and then traded back for them to use them for the offer sheet.
I see.
They traded to get their own picks back so that they could use them.
Which it was strange at the time when they made that trade, and then like a day or two later, it was like, okay, now I see why you did that weird little pick swap in like the middle of the off season. It was like, oh, okay.
Doug Armstrong just coming in with that 4D chess.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty smart. And ended up working out. So it'll be interesting to see what teams are eligible to RFA, and we've got a decent list of potential players that could be offer sheeted. That would be tantalizing for teams too. It'll just be tough with how much the salary cap is going up. That there may be a little bit more play for some of these teams where they could potentially prioritize that big signing and then not have to worry about it. So we'll see how many realistic situations there are where the teams is not just going to match the offer, even if it is a slight overpay. It's like, yeah, you might not want to lose the player even if you're getting really good compensation.
Yeah, I mean, people are talking about the cap increase, like, oh, teams have more money to like offer sheet, but it also means the other teams have money to like match the offer sheet. So,
to pay,
yeah. And the player again has to agree to sign the offer sheet. It's not like a stealing item, like
I don't want to go.
Some fans, yeah, it's
don't
like,
make me.
But Dad, I don't want to be paid this much by that team. It's like, well, what can I tell you?
Then don't.
Yeah, actually, you can just say no. Oh, okay, thanks. So yeah, I think they're always exciting, and last year we were saying a couple episodes before they happen, we're like, it's probably not going to happen this year just because they don't happen too frequently. But hey, there were 2 successful ones done to the same team. It was pretty fun, and we'll see what Doug and other GMs are up to this off season. But I guess we should probably shift towards what's going on right now, which is the playoffs. And it's been a while since we've waited this long to really dig into the playoffs, other than the eliminated teams.
Right, and we did our whole post-mortem last week, right? Like, so all the round 1 matchups we've talked about, they had all wrapped up, yeah.
So I don't know if you've watched any or been following any of this series for the second round, Justin. If you have any dogs in the race.
I've wanted to see Connor McDavid win a cup.
Yeah, go Oilers! Yeah!
And on top of that, I just don't like the Knights. Never have. You know that, Brad.
Same.
Sorry, buddy.
Hi. Really?
So
Big
it's
surprise.
seeing, as I'm looking at the bracket right now, seeing that Edmonton's up 3-1 is
good news.
I'm under attack right now. I'm under attack.
Hey, you invited this guest on the podcast.
You sure did. You've been asking me for months.
Years.
This is my bad.
The perfect scenario for me to be here, actually.
Yeah.
They are playing tonight. Sadly, we won't be done recording we will have wrapped up before the game will conclude. So there won't be any opportunities for gloating from either side. But hoping for a Game 5 win at home.
Shown.
If Edmonton wins, maybe we'll do some gloating in the edit.
Oh, great.
I'll ask Justin to send a little clip or something.
Yeah, woo, Oilers. Yeah, he pulls out his Oilers jersey that he just manifested
Yeah.
out of thin air. He's like, I only have a Coyotes jersey and the Blues. Oh, and here's one.
Sounds like this.
Connor McDavid.
Panthers just scored. It went off a Maple Leafs defender.
So that's 2-0.
Yep.
2-0.
But yeah, I guess
So yeah,
we
that
can
game's also
start
going
with
on.
that series. Edmonton, Vegas. Obviously, Justin and I want Edmonton, and obviously Brendan does not. So they're up
I would
3-1.
prefer if they didn't move on.
I haven't watched a ton of this series. I was watching the game where the one Vegas win actually, where it went off Draisaitl with a couple seconds left. That was pretty crazy.
That was a fun one. Very exciting game. Finally get the first win, and it looked like they were gonna blow it again. And then, oh boy, we're going into overtime again. Like we just lost in OT at home to go down 2-0, and it's like, don't do this to me. And then it was obviously elation when they ended up getting that late goal from Smith, and then yeah, it hasn't been as exciting since then because
And then
they got shut out in
by
game 4.
Stuart Skinner.
Yeah, I was like, oh, as soon as I started realizing it was a possibility, Zane and I were chatting about it, and I'm like, oh my god, please don't let that happen. Like, I will never hear the end of that. That we couldn't freaking score on the guy who lets in, the beach balls.
Well, with that shutout, he passed Hellebuck, making Hellebuck the worst goalie by save percentage that has played in the playoffs this year, I believe.
Wow, that'll be a
crazy.
fascinating streak to follow
Yeah, I wonder
as
how
the
I can
series
find
continue.
those stats. Oh, I bet. I mean, the NHL app was actually probably the easiest
NHL
way for
app,
this.
yeah, they have playoff stats right
Yeah.
there. So yeah, Vegas really did not have much going for them in game 4. They had some weird penalty situations and fights which like still caused them to get power plays, which was shocking, and then they just wouldn't be able to score on them. And it was like, man, like we're getting some chances and then like not being able to score is just compounding, and they're like, yeah, they're just thinking a little bit too much, and so they couldn't really get a ton generated at 5-on-5 for pretty much the whole game. So it was not a fun one to watch as a fan, but very encouraging, of course, if you're an Oilers fan. Like, okay, we did what we needed to do, on the road, and then we split the difference at home. Like, okay, we have a great shot here. So they've got 3 opportunities to move on. I hope Vegas can rebound. We've seen them like do well before when they've been down, but they have never won a series when they've been down 3-1. So I'm not
In
expecting
the
it.
whole franchise history.
Yeah.
All 3 years.
So they could either do that, which would be cool if they would finally, overcome the 3-1 deficit, or if they don't, they would be losing in the second round for the first time, which would complete
Bingo.
the bingo. They would have won and lost in all of the rounds in the playoff, like lost the series in 8 seasons, 7
For the
playoff
first
seasons,
time in
Oh.
franchise history.
which would be pretty. I mean, it would be pretty cool, even though they fucking lost. Like, I wouldn't be happy to see them lose, but that's like the one, consultation or prize, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the scary part as a Vegas fan would be like the one game you guys won was when Draisaitl was playing terrible and like scored the winning goal for you, and then the other game like Adam Henrique scores 2, McDavid and Draisaitl don't really contribute much. So it's like if you're not gonna win those games where the stars aren't playing up to their speed and like the Oilers getting depth scoring has been their biggest issue all like for years. So
Yeah. Yeah, they just haven't come up clutch this season like they have in seasons past. Losing that overtime game was unlike them, and they got the worst of the calls, like McNabb with that whole trip and everything, and now they've lost a couple of guys to injury. I know Stone isn't playing tonight, and we lost Petrangelo, a couple of the defensemen, so that's gonna be tough. But again, playoffs, that's just how the story goes.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, it's difficult to see them not being able to pull out those tight knit games that historically they're pretty successful at. But they still have an opportunity tonight to make things a little more interesting. Force a game 6 back at Edmonton. They just gotta play not so scared to lose. And the first goal is gonna be absolutely huge. Like if they let another one up in early, like it's not gonna be a pretty night, I don't think.
Mm. Yeah, and going back to the goalie thing, so Stuart Skinner, 857 save percentage puts him in 19th of the 20 goalies that have played. So Hellebuck has an 851, and then Aiden Hill is in 17th with an 876. So this matchup hasn't been really a tale of goaltending per se.
Hill has not been super great. Like he's had a couple decent saves, but there have definitely been some where it was just not, you know, not a goal you should be letting in.
Mm.
Uh, Especially with, the pedigree that he has. It's like this is just not how you normally play. So we would expect to get a little bit better from him, but I don't think it's been all on him why we're not doing well. We're also not scoring. Getting shut out. I can't blame that one on Hill. Um, so they need to find a way to get back to their scoring game. I think there's a couple forwards that are going to be out tonight, so the lines are going to be a little strange. Hopefully, they just find a way to power through. But this might be the last game that they play this year, and I would finally be able to shave my playoff beard, which I've been kind of looking forward to. If they do lose, I'm like, this thing is getting pretty rough.
That's really the silver lining we're all looking for here.
Yeah, I
That
know.
was
I'm
always
like,
my favorite part. I was like, I can finally shave.
Oh, I love
this
mine.
is it's just not working. Well, yeah, but because you can grow a beard.
Thanks.
Dean and I can't really do that.
Mine grows in
And I
okay
can't I
these
can't just
days.
have the beard. Like it would, or the goatee, it would be terrible. So I have to have the mustache too.
Yeah, I think you should just keep the mustache all the time.
I
Actually, I
don't
want to know
know.
Bree's thoughts on that. Can you get her in here?
She doesn't mind the mustache so much, but the beard is a no
It's,
go because it doesn't do anything. It's like patches and nothing connecting anything. So it's not.
Can you just actually keep this soul
Like I
patch?
say, soul patch only.
Oh God, I'm like a
Wait,
'70s musician or something.
when the Knights lose tonight, can you just send us a picture of that when you're done
Yeah.
shaving? Just the
I'm
soul
probably
patch.
not gonna do it tonight, but I'll
No,
shave in the
you
morning.
gotta do it the night.
Oh, is that what you do?
Well,
You
actually,
before you go to
what
bed,
I
you're like,
did one year, they were down after the second period. I'm like, maybe if I shave, they'll come back and win.
Did it work?
It did not work. It was like a two. It was at least 2 or 3 goals. So I was like, I
Mm.
might as well shave because I'm going so I can go to bed right after this game. But maybe if they come back, then I need to shave every day.
yeah. Like there's really nothing here, but I have to do it now since it
Shave
went the
every
first
second
time.
intermission.
Oh my gosh. Jesper Boquist just made it 3-0 Panthers.
Ooh.
Damn.
So that's looking good. We've also got the Scepters game going on, Scepters Frost, and that is 2-1 Toronto.
What a pass.
They are looking to stave off elimination. So we've got our first elimination game for the PWHL playoffs.
How many round
Um,
or game? How long are the series in PWHL?
They're best of 5.
Okay.
So this is game 4 with the Frost up, and they are at home. But yeah, I guess we'll get back to them. We'll wrap up the NHL playoff talk with why don't we discuss the other game going on, that Panthers Leafs series where all of the home teams have won so far.
Until tonight.
Yeah, hopefully.
Um.
Whoa, wait a minute.
Whoa. Sorry,
Yeah, go wrong
Hello.
chat.
wrong chat. I thought this was the watch hockey together. I was about to dunk on the Leafs real quick. Hi,
Oh.
Justin.
You can do
Hello,
that.
how are you? Yeah,
Yeah, you still
take a
can
stage.
dunk on them.
Yeah, so this is the new podcast studio. This is the kitchen where
Whoa.
the laptop is because I'm about to start making dinner. But fuck the Leafs, right? Down 3-0. They suck.
Oh my
I
god.
live for this.
I think this is unrelated, but the first time the four of us have been on a Discord call since D&D.
Oh,
Probably.
this is what, 3 years
Shout
ago
out
now?
5 years ago, D&D.
That was forever ago.
Yeah. That was still fun.
We could do that again.
We had a pretty good DM.
Oof,
Yeah.
I disagree.
Okay.
I'm
All right,
actually
I'll
here
get
right
out of
now.
the podcast. I gotta make dinner.
Okay, bye.
Thanks for hanging out.
Thanks for
Bye.
ruining the overlay.
Sorry.
Yeah, he like joined and
Well.
seemed confused. I'm like, oh, I don't think you meant to be
Yeah.
here.
Oopsies. That's hilarious. Well, we'll see how we fit that in to the episode.
But yeah, anyway, Leafs Panthers
Anyway.
series. Obviously, Owen doesn't like the Leafs, and who does? But I hate both the teams. I mean, I feel like most of the discussions have been the dirty play of the Panthers, who are like have always been the most dirty team in the league for years. But the Leafs have also been kind of playing a little dirty lately as well. And I
Been a
mean,
scrappy series.
I put all sorts of links in here, starting with
Mhm.
the Max Domi late hit boarding Barkov. It was like the game was basically over.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm gonna watch that now.
and you can go to like the 110 mark is the replay.
110, huh?
Yeah.
Legendary. Dean's got the
Oh
timestamps.
yeah. Well, I have the videos up too because I was watching them all.
Oh my
earlier.
god.
Yeah. And this was
Random.
Yeah.
there's like 5 seconds left in the game. The game's over. The Panthers are
Oh
up
my
2-0.
god.
Oops.
That's
He's
nice.
actually in the box right now for slashing.
I saw
as
that.
this is going.
I also feel like as a Panthers fan, you can't complain about cheap shots.
God, no. I mean, you gotta at least know that if you dish it out, like, you're gonna take it.
Yeah. So he got like the max allowable fine of $5,000. Like they haven't suspended anyone since. Well, I guess did they suspend anyone this series? I know in the first series, the Lightning won. There were a couple suspensions.
Hagel got suspended.
Ekblad
and
got suspended.
Ekblad. Yeah.
And then you have the Kulikov like blatant elbow to Marner's head, which I don't even think got called.
And it didn't get called.
think
They,
it
like,
did.
I saw it in, like, the corner of my eye on the broadcast, and then they kept panning towards the puck. I'm like, are they gonna discuss this? And, like, I think between the benches broadcaster was saying, like, oh, like, that was not a good situation, and yeah, no penalty. I'd be very upset if I was a Leafs fan for that one.
Yeah, and the
That,
other one
like,
I'd be
didn't even
upset
get a call
about
on ice.
is the Nylander going into the bench and the player on the bench opening the door. Like it seems like it was intentional because they're in the offensive end and the player near the door is a forward and the forwards get off on the other side of the bench. So it's like why were you even opening the door? It's like that's honestly like obviously that's super unsafe and like if I was a Leafs fan that out of everything would probably piss me off the most.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's just something that you just shouldn't be doing. Isn't that a penalty?
It
too?
is but I mean, he's saying like he was opening it for his teammate, or like he had like plausible deniability is why he did it.
Right. It's just not a situation where you would normally do that. Like you would. That's not a typical change.
Right. And then I just
So,
added this one too that I hadn't even seen this one, but like Pontus Holmberg just got like lit up, didn't have the puck or anything, like blindsided, no call. He gets up and goes into the boards and like trips someone, and that gets called. Like,
I remember seeing this live, and it was pretty great. I was like, wow, Florida has got like the refs in their
I
pockets.
mean, we
or
talk
something
about
like
it
that.
every
This is
playoffs how
crazy.
like the refing is always terrible because like there's more eyes on it. It's like, is it actually worse or are they just refing worse? But I don't know. It's this series in particular has been all over the place as far as refing.
I've never seen so many like blatant things though that they're either missing or not handling correctly. Like that, I think
Yeah,
that's the surprising part to me. Like,
I've also
because
noticed
I'm
like as far as high sticking and things like that, most of them have been double minors. So I'm like, are they just not calling the like less egregious ones? I'm like, almost every time someone gets high stick, they're bleeding. I'm like, that's just a
Yeah,
coincidence, or are they like only calling ones where people are losing teeth?
could be. Yeah, I don't know. It does seem pretty great. And I probably said last year that I've never seen so many blatant
Mm-hmm.
penalties get missed. Like I'm sure I said the exact same thing.
It's
Because
crazy.
again, we feel that every single year and it's just going to be a discussion till the end of time,
Yeah. Oh, the other funny thing
unfortunately.
about the Nylander going into the bench was then that play was offside.
Yeah.
So apparently, if you're on the bench, you're still in play. Like if you're not line changing, 'cause he
Oh,
was in the floor of the bench. So that was kind of neat.
hmm.
neat. That's the word I was gonna use
Yeah.
too. Like,
I mean, yeah, it's neat.
Obscure
it's
hockey
brutal.
rules.
Mine finally got like loaded and kind of see him get hit into the. Oh my god.
Which one are you watching?
The
Nylander.
opening the door.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Like it could have been so much worse.
Yeah.
Wait until you see the last
That
link.
Last link. All right, I'm on it.
Oh wait, I just deleted. I thought
It's
you
gone.
didn't.
The
Here,
Pontus Holmberg.
here you go.
Oh, did the? I think the Frost just tied it up
Oh,
2-2.
Florida just scored.
Whoa, 4-0.
4-0.
Oh, the Leafs fans are
Yeah.
going through it. It's Nico Mikkola.
Hey, I know that name.
I say, isn't that a former St. Louis Blue?
Yeah, he's also the one who opened the door, so I don't know if I really want to
Yeah,
claim that
he
right
was.
now.
I'm like, wow, look at all the parallels. Like, this is great. Domi gets a penalty while we're
Mm.
talking about him getting the penalty in another game. And then, oh man, Wool has got to have that one. I just saw the replay, and it just like
Mhm.
went right behind his glove.
Oh yeah, and if you're not aware of this, Justin, the reason the Maple Leafs, well, they won their first two games and then have had their backup in the other potential three games that they've lost because their goaltender got run and elbowed in the head
Nice,
um, by Sam Bennett.
nice.
Sam Bennett.
Is he a problem? Is he a problem player?
It's a bit of a problem
He
player.
is definitely a problem player, and Bruins fans know it the most.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he's
Although,
been around a while though, right? Like I don't
Yeah.
remember. Like I've heard that name, but I don't remember him being in the category of Marchand or Kachuk or.
Well, I mean, when Florida it wasn't as good, I guess he was lesser known, but he's picked it up in like the scoring department too, so
yeah,
he's more
he used to
eyes
be
are
on
on
the
him lately.
Flames for a little bit.
He was on
Yeah,
the
he was
Kachuk
on one of
trade, right?
the ads that they showed for the playoffs
Oh yeah,
on loop. This one of the three highlights that they showed.
I hate that during icings they have the ad about a player scoring because if you like look away, you hear he scores, and you look up and it's like not even the game's not even happening.
yeah.
Um,
They could work on that.
yeah, but yeah, I guess anyways, besides all the terrible officiating and rough stuff, if you were a Leafs fan, could you say if you lose, let's say tonight and well, either next game or game seven, if we had our starting goalie, it would have been different, or is like I feel like losing in the second round and first round all these years, are you out of excuses, or is that a valid excuse to say we didn't have our starting goalie? Because Matthews
I
also hasn't
mean,
done much, so like there's blame that can be
yeah,
on his
well,
shoulders.
he has no goals in this series. I think he has one or two goals from the Ottawa series, Like he's had a couple decent games, but he just hasn't put the puck in the net. So that's a problem. Um, Penalties is always going to be a thing, and then it would definitely help to have Stolars. I think. I mean, he definitely earned the starting job towards the end of the season, the regular season, and then Wool has had playoff experience, so that helps. And I don't think he's been too bad. Like it's just the offense hasn't showed up tonight, especially. It wasn't really there in game 4 either. So can't really put it all on not having Stolars.
Yeah, I guess if you get shut out, you also can't blame the goalie. So we'll see how tonight
Right.
goes. But
I mean, things like that, like that's just playing hockey, right? Like you're gonna lose your goalie, you're gonna like stuff happens. I don't know that you can just blame it on one thing and be like,
Yeah.
oh, it's our goaltender is gone.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that happened with Vegas when they won the cup with Brossois going down because he won the first series against the Jets and then played a couple of games in Edmonton series. I think was it just one, maybe two, and then I think he started in the second game. That's when he got hurt, and so pretty similar situation in terms of the timeline. So yeah, it's just the luck of the draw, and your team either powers through and overcomes, or they fall short. And Leafs teams historically over the last decade have fallen completely short and flat on their face. And they're losing a critical game 5 at home right now. So looking like the trend
Convincingly.
is continuing.
yeah, I'm going to consider this game a Panthers win, which means they have one more to get the Bruins an upgraded draft pick. Because that was a condition on the Marchand trade, Justin. We got a second round pick that becomes a first if the Panthers win the second round.
Oh, nice.
And Marchand plays at least half the games, which he already has. So.
Check.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So one game, one win away.
And then that's it.
Yeah,
And
and
then
then
this
no
is
more
completely
rooting for the
unrelated.
Panthers.
Then we're done.
Yeah.
Um,
Then I have to root for Carolina.
so-
Ew. Most likely. Well, on that
Probably.
side, on the East.
Bruins captain now.
No one.
Oh.
I mean, it could be. I was always thinking McAvoy, but I've talked about it on the podcast a little bit that like since Marchand
Could be
left, Pastrnak kind of stepped up in like a leadership role, which I didn't really expect. So,
Nice.
and I thought Carlo would be a good leader until we traded him, so he's off the table. So I think it's really McAvoy or Pastrnak.
Yeah, I can't think of anybody else that makes
Charlie
sense.
Coyle. Oh wait, no.
Yeah, exactly. That's literally where my thought went. I was like, Coyle would have been a good idea if he wasn't gone.
Trent Frederick. Oh no, he's gone.
Gone. Although I don't think I would have picked him for a captain.
Fabian Lysell.
Woo. Throw him to the Wolves.
Patra.
Yeah, there you go. One good
The
season, then he
future.
got injured halfway through, and
And then the games he played last year, he wasn't very good either. So.
no.
Lorai.
Yeah, Mason Lorai, the Louisiana kid.
Nikita Zadorov. There we go. That's a leader. He actually has some good locker room presence, but you feel like your bottom pairing defender can't be your captain.
And with how many
Like, you're
penalties
playing
he
5
takes,
minutes a game.
Yeah, that too.
yeah, not out there long enough to get the ref's attention for like whenever they have to get the captains over. They're discussing something. He's like, you're never on the ice when we need to
Yeah.
talk to you.
Anything else on the
yeah.
Leafs series?
I mean, no, it's the same story with the Leafs and with the Panthers too. Like we've seen both of these types of teams from them before, so it's just going to be whether or not the story changes at all. And again, not looking like it will. So
Yep.
we will await game 6 here and maybe a game 7. And then we'll see who's coming out of the other side of the East, which is the Caps and Canes series with the Hurricanes with a 3-1 lead heading back to Raleigh or excuse me, back to DC. So that game is tomorrow, I believe. And the Caps have not really looked good for a majority of the series.
Is it the Caps looking bad, or is it the Hurricanes' play style where they just prevent any sort of offense that makes teams look bad?
That seems to be the majority of how the series is going. It's like they've been very low scoring, boring
There hasn't been
games.
a
So
goal
yeah,
in the first period in this series.
I thought that was the case. I was like, that seemed to be continuing for a while, and I didn't know if Game 4 if it had happened or not. And yeah, apparently not. And I think it was the second where like they really opened things up. And it ended up being like a 5-3 game or something. But
Oh, no, I guess it
it
was.
was
It was Game 4 that there was.
okay.
So that must have been the first one.
The first 3 games, yeah, that's pretty miserable, and it's definitely the series that I've been tuning into the least.
Yeah.
Because I'm not really too entertained by either of the teams. I don't really care who moves on. Like,
I
I'm pretty
agree.
sure the Canes are going to, and it's looking pretty good.
That'll be an interesting series. Again, I'm just assuming Florida's going to win this series, so I'm just saying like Canes Panthers would be a very interesting matchup.
Which, yeah, we've seen that before, and the Panthers shut out in heart-wrenching fashion for Carolina Hurricanes fans who got to see 2 late overtime losses. I think there was like 3 overtime games in that series, 3 in a row that they all lost.
That's
Like,
the one where
hopefully
Brendan
that
Moore is
doesn't
like,
happen
"Well,
again.
we didn't actually get swept."
He's like, if you watch the games, like we didn't really
Yeah.
get swept. It's like,
I remember
okay,
that one.
Yeah, so
But-
the Panthers in
You
their last
did.
12 conference final games are 0 for 12. They have
yeah.
been swept in their last 3 conference finals. My hot take is they win a game this time.
That is
Yeah.
hot.
Like, right off the press.
Uh,
Oh my gosh. It would be good to see them finally get a freaking win.
I'd love to see them beat
And
the Panthers.
It would be nice to see the Panthers not move on for the 3rd time. Like it would be good to see because the Canes have not advanced to the finals in a long time. I think they haven't made it since they won the cup in 06. So yeah, that would be nice to get something different. I really am not too keen on any of the East teams, so I'm just hoping that one of the West teams wins.
Yeah, I think no matter what, I'm just rooting for whoever comes out of the West to win the cup.
I think that's how I am too. Like, and Gifford will yell at me for rooting for the Oilers, but like if they come out of the West, I will definitely root for them no matter who they're
I
playing.
mean, you can't root for the Leafs or the Panthers, obviously. So it's
Obviously.
it would just be the Hurricanes or the Cap. Well, I guess not the Caps, probably.
The
Probably
Cavs, maybe they still got a chance. They just haven't been scoring. They have not found any of like the like luck that they were having during the regular season where they got bounces that went their way and they were generating chances, especially on the power play. That's been pretty stagnant this time around. So it's really not trending towards success. And I know our resident Caps expert Sam was not feeling like they were going to be moving on, and he like believed for half a second when they won Game 3, and that belief is pretty much gone.
Yeah. I don't really
So-
have too much else on that series.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't really have any. I
Ovi
figured
scored.
Justin didn't have anything either.
Ovi finally got on the board, so in this round,
Yeah.
I guess.
Listen, man, he's tired. He's been
Yeah.
working hard, all right?
Busy setting records.
He can use a break, rest up, get the 900 next year. Yeah, we shift now to the Dallas and Winnipeg series, which is a Dallas 3-1 lead. Dean did predict that Dallas would win both games 3 and 4 at home, which of course he was right on the money, and they do win both those games. And yeah, I watched Game 4 and it was disappointing because they had some good chances in the first and couldn't capitalize, and It just seemed like every time they were able to get a lead, it was taken away pretty quickly on like a weird turnover. It was like a 2-on-1 after they had a bunch of chances, and so I'm rooting for Winnipeg, and it would have just been a little more fun to see them
Told you Dallas are gonna
you know,
roll
win
over the
last night.
Jets. Well, I said roll over whoever comes out of that series.
That
So.
series, yeah. I was thinking they would win Game 5, get an upset win in Game 6 on the road,
Mm,
and then why don't they just go ahead and win Game 7 since they already did that once? I
sure.
mean, that's just me though.
Now the Stars have their 2 stars back.
Uh-huh.
That helps a lot. Yeah.
But Heiskin only played like 15 minutes. They're like kind of easing him back. He's obviously not 100%, and then Robertson probably isn't either. But it certainly helps to have him in the lineup. Can shift everyone down a line or whatever, and they're only gonna not I wouldn't say get healthier, but they're get more into it and hopefully have an impact. I guess if you're rooting for the Stars.
They are looking pretty solid, especially at home. Ottinger's been great. Um,
They had the chance last
so
night. Otter's better.
yeah, and they've got the whole Olympics battle sort of going on there for who would earn the starting role for next year in Italy. So definitely, I think Ottinger said that besides winning the cup this year, like his main goal is to earn that first goalie slot for Team USA in the Olympics. So
Mm,
that's a fun little thing to keep in the back of our minds.
seems like he's on track.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know who else I would really put in the conversation.
Swayman.
Like Swayman did not have a great year last season, so he would really have to start out strong with the Bruins next regular season if they were if he was gonna have a chance, I think. But I think that's the only one.
Did you see the goal that was a kicking motion, but it was still a goal because it went off Hellebuck, so it's like an own goal, so it negates.
I did see that. Yeah,
Lots of fans
that's
unhappy with that one. It's really interesting. I mean, I don't
that's a
know.
tough one.
I guess it's the argument that like you put in your own net, but I guess in the rule book apparently if you kick the puck and it goes off a defender and in, then it's still no goal because it's a kicking motion. But if in this case they thought that Hellebuck like made a play on it, which then caused it to be an own goal, so that it's fine, but it's kind of weird.
Yeah, I mean,
So
I guess
because
it's
it
good
just
that
kind of bounced off Hellebuck?
Yeah.
That's strange.
I guess it's good that they have like language in the rule book for this situation because it would be
it's
annoying if they didn't.
It's like this something that just hasn't really happened, I guess. So, as long like people are saying, as long as it's consistent, and if next time this happens in like a decade, they have the same
They
ruling,
do the
which
same
they
thing,
probably
yeah.
won't. But it's all
I
about
would say they're known for their
consistency.
consistency, actually.
Yeah.
So
Especially in
we
the
should be
playoffs.
expecting this.
It was also brought up that
Game
during this
7.
review, they had like once the review started, they put Freebird on, and they made it all the way to the solo before they finished the review.
My God,
It
nice.
was like a very long time to go over this. Because I think the other thing I heard was the refs thought it was a goal, and the video room thought it wasn't a goal. And so like the video room was like, here, let me show you another example of why it's not a goal. And like they try to have like whatever the refs see on the ice, they try to like let them come to their own decision. But they're like, this shouldn't be a goal or something. I heard something like that along those lines.
Like maybe that's what you saw from your vantage point, but like how the world saw it is that it wasn't a goal.
Mm-hmm.
Do they ever release like with like the player safety things? They release like a short video and they're like, "This is what we saw," and like, do they ever do that for like controversial calls like that. Like that would probably do them a lot of good.
I know. I wish they did. Like I think we've
think,
talked
well-
about that. No, we've talked about. I've talked about post-game ref interviews.
I
Like,
think I
what
do
did you
think they
see?
should
What
be
made you-
available.
they would never do
Yeah.
that, but I feel like what you're saying would be more likely because they can kind of like take the time and
They can tailor it,
yeah.
and then
Don't-
it also gives them the space to be like, yeah, we made a mistake, and like in future rulings we'll do this differently. Like
Mhm.
I feel like on the PR NHL like Twitter account, I've seen like explanation videos for disallowed or allowed goals. I'm trying to remember like a specific one that I looked at. I think I've seen some though. I don't know if they do it for like every situation, and it's usually again not like from the referees or anything. It's just an overarching like NHL like this is why that, or maybe it's just a statement and they don't do a video, but sometimes they'll put like a generic statement. Maybe that's what they do for those. I'll have to do some digging, see if I can find one. I don't know.
I just realized who that behemoth is during the intermission. I'm like, who is that guy? It's Chris Pronger.
Oh,
I remember what he looked like playing, but I like did not recognize him with the glasses and just obviously he's a lot older than when he played. But I'm like, who is this giant? That makes
like
sense.
you're not a media person.
Yeah, I didn't realize he was doing like intermission stuff. I mean, Subban's been there forever.
Yeah.
I know Lundqvist had done some.
Yeah, Lundqvist is still on the TNT
Mm,
broadcast, and they've swapped out a couple different retired players lately, and which has been interesting. Get a couple coaches too. Yeah, wow, Pronger is freaking massive, especially next to Levy.
He's 6'6". But he's also
It's a
just
big
like
man.
he's just built, right? He's not just like a tall, lanky guy. Like,
No, he's like 6'6" bodybuilder.
hmm
Scary.
And they also put this for the series that Marchant slashes ref, which I mean, maybe a bit
Marchman.
a bit much, but so you
He definitely. You're
He-
not supposed to come in contact with the
No.
refs like that.
Like,
Like
he could've
taps
gotten
his
suspended.
shin.
yeah.
I'm surprised that they haven't that they didn't announce that he was gonna get a suspension because he's supposed to get a 10-game automatic suspension
Mm-hmm.
for contact with the
or
ref
even
like
touching
that.
the ref.
It's
Yeah.
the playoffs. You can't do that. You can't suspend anyone.
They've already
that would-
suspended
that would
multiple
affect-
players.
Not
this
for
se-
10
this
games
season,
though.
though.
That would be
Outcome.
unheard of. In the playoffs.
Unprecedented.
Yeah.
You know what you just did? You made it open season to attack the refs.
yeah.
Like, if you're not gonna
Season.
suspend him, you're gonna get someone else
Somebody's
that's gonna try it.
Yeah. Try it. Push the boundary a little bit further.
Push out like, oh, so this is allowed? Like, it probably won't happen
No.
because NHL players don't really do that, but I would hope that they wouldn't anyways. But yeah, it's still not a good look for the league to let that go unpunished. Oh, Scepters just scored to make it 3-2.
Mm.
1 minute in, less than a minute into the third period, and we're still waiting on the third period to start for the Panthers game. But again, looking unlikely that the Leafs are gonna rebound here, down 4-0. So yeah, I think that's all we got for the playoffs, unless you had any other items of discussion for any of the series that we didn't already capture.
Yeah, I don't think I have much.
I
much
guess
else.
Okay.
Oh, I guess
Why
we
don't
can wrap
we-
it up with the bracket challenge.
Oh yeah. Let's
Well,
do
my
a
mom
quick
was upset
recap
with
on
me
that.
because I didn't say that she was in second place. So we have
yeah.
me in first place, and then tied for second we have Zach, my mom, and my sister. So the DeFilippo family is
Wow. We're showing out.
doing a great job. And then my dad is in eighth, but he is in second still in the
Hockey pool?
transcontinental hockey pool. So just a
How am I
hockey
doing in that
family.
one? I haven't checked in a little
I've
bit.
been making my way up. You're in eighth.
Eighth. I was
yeah.
at 7th last time, so that's
I'm-
still pretty good.
I'm in 16th, and I was in
Maybe
26th.
5th.
So, you know, big jump, but still a ways to go.
I was saying I think Harley is going to take a bit of a hit with Heiskanen starting to get eased back in.
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, he's still getting decent minutes, but that one might hurt. But yeah, I don't know. I just did it for fun. I'm like, yeah, we'll see. You never know what combination is gonna work out the best. I'm like, just see who I think's gonna move on um and who's a playoff performer and who's not. That's why I picked Nylander, because I was like, out of all the Leafs, he's the only one who like consistently scores in the playoffs, and he still has done that this season. Not tonight, but he's been pretty good. I mean, I don't know how the ESPN bracket is going, but again, I already said that I'm cooked in that one. Like I picked the Avs to win that one, and obviously they've been eliminated. So yeah, lost my $20 there. I don't know how your bracket's doing, Dean.
Well, I think I mentioned not much has changed since last time, where it's dependent on this round, obviously, where
Oh well, yeah.
I have Vegas over Edmonton, but they both had the Caps winning for some reason, so it's gonna be close. But it's me and two other people that still have all the matchups correct. But they both have Dallas winning, and I have the Leafs, so that could obviously help them a lot if the Stars continue on. So we shall.
Oh,
see.
you have the Jets moving on, or
No,
or no?
I have the Stars winning this round, but they have the Stars winning the Cup.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I think I have Vegas beating the Stars in my bracket. So.
Oh yeah, you had Vegas, Toronto, right?
Let me just reopen this. Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah, so I had Vegas beating the Stars, and then I had the Leafs beating the Hurricanes. But they also had Florida, so that me getting Carolina and them having the Caps, that's a wash on the East. For my second chance bracket, I put Florida, Dallas, so who knows?
That's still real. I didn't bother. I'm like, whatever. I don't really need to. Like, I gave it one shot. Like, I don't need the satisfaction of a
I still picked Vegas
second bracket.
over Edmonton, though.
Wow. Well, hopefully they don't let you down.
You're willing to take.
Yeah. I have the Stars.
Yeah.
Stars winning the Cup.
It's like
over Florida
I'll
now.
have this one be wrong as long as it doesn't happen in real life.
Yep.
As long as the Oilers actually win, that's fine.
Mhm.
Yeah. Way to go, Dean.
Maybe they can beat the Stars too.
Maybe. Or the Jets. I'm still having them lose to the Oilers, but hey, at least they beat the Stars. No, I think that one's been fun. And then, yeah, we've got the PWHL playoffs. So like I mentioned earlier, we've got a potential elimination game for the Frost. They will be looking to get the game tied and then eventually win the game. And secure their spot in the finals, because it's just the 4 matchups, or 4 teams. So Toronto has looked good. They looked really good in the first game, and then they didn't look great in game 2, and then they lost a crazy 7-5 game in game 3, which was the highest scoring PWHL game ever, which is kind of cool.
Even like not counting playoffs.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, that one would have been a crazy one to go to. Was that one in? I believe that one was in Minnesota too. So that's pretty fun. I think they've only won one time in that building in the playoffs. So that's cool. And then the other series being Montreal and Ottawa, where the lower seed also is up the charge with a 1-0 win in game 3 at home. That was their first home game for the playoffs too, and they are looking to win on Friday in Ottawa.
I wonder if there'll be talk about which was the first team that picked the third instead of the fourth.
Montreal. They picked Ottawa.
So yeah, it'll be funny if Montreal loses. If there'll be talk about they should have just gone with the fourth seed.
Well, I mean, if the Frost end up winning the series, it's like might not have mattered
I
after
guess,
all.
yeah.
But yeah, last year all three series the underdog ended up winning.
Mm.
So and that's actually looking like it could happen again this year, which is crazy.
That's funny.
Who knows? Justin, did you hear about the two expansion PWHL franchises that are coming next season?
No, but I'm poking around on their website. It looks like Vancouver and Seattle. Is that
That's
what
it.
I'm- Nice, nice. I was just poking through even
That'll be
the
cool.
Frost team. It looks like when Renata Fast is on there. That's a name I recognize.
Yeah.
We were talking last week about the Clarkson alum that are currently playing in the PWHL, and I think Toronto was the one that we said had the most representation from Clarkson. But there's like 10 or 11 or 12 players right now that are Clarkson alum. Pretty cool.
Even when we were there, they were stacked. So
Yep. Most ECAC representation too is Clarkson.
yeah, nice.
I think a couple of other like Princeton has some, and Cornell, I think Colgate. So
I didn't hear you say
Pretty
SLU,
cool.
so that's cool.
there's probably a couple slews.
Nope.
Sloozers. I mean, no, they stink. They're bad.
Bad.
I said, I don't really know how the SLU women's teams did while we were at Clarkson. Like, I don't remember. Did they play at all in the playoffs while we were there?
I don't think so. Like
I remember them playing like Quinnipiac and some of the I think they played a couple non-ECAC team in the final tournament, obviously. Yeah, I don't think they did. I had to look, but yeah, maybe they just weren't as good at the same times. But yeah, PWHL playoffs has been fun. Obviously, Ottawa is or Owen is rooting for Ottawa. I decided to root for the Charge too, just because I didn't really have a dog in the race with the Sirens not qualifying again this time. So yeah, we'll see again. It wraps up pretty quickly with only the max 15 games that they can have, but it's still fun, and they've had some good games already. So they had the 4 overtime or 5 overtime game that the Charge ended up losing, unfortunately. But that's the only one that they've lost so far. So yeah, that's our update. I think that's all the playoff stuff we got. Again, we talked about Calder Cup, and we haven't really brought up the Kelly Cup playoffs this year for ECHL just because, and the Thunder aren't in it, so that's why I was following it a lot last year. I'm like, now that they were terrible this season, so I'm like, I don't really need to spend a ton of time tracking this. There's so many other leagues and things to be doing.
Yeah. Well, there's even just for the NHL playoffs, all the Twitter drama to keep in touch with too. Did you?
Oh yeah.
Did you see the Panthers minority owner getting into some heated debates on Twitter with some random dude?
Some like Leafs rage baiter
Yeah,
or whatever.
He was talking about
troll.
the
great job.
so Doug Sifu. I don't know if that's how you say his name, but he was like just getting so riled up, talking about like 51st state and like pro-Israel stuff, and then
he went crazy.
The screenshot got posted on Reddit. They're like, this can't be real, and then he ended up getting suspended indefinitely. So it's like, hey, the league did something good for once. Wow.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So yeah, the troll
Pretty
definitely
crazy.
won that one. Like imagine just getting into like a Twitter argument with like a minority owner of an NHL team and then getting them suspended.
It's like
Like
I
nice.
did that.
I did
Like,
that.
oh,
Nice.
that's sweet.
Good job, Leafs
Count that as
fan, for
a
once.
win.
That is crazy, really. We've also got some recent hirings for GMs and coaches. So just named today, Holland officially named the next general manager for the Los Angeles Kings. Was just in Edmonton last year, and then his contract expired, and then they hired Bowman, which we'll see. I don't think fans have been too receptive to his ideas, and obviously then he had the offer sheets and all that. So it's like, wow, he's getting thrown right to the wolves. We'll see how things go there, but yeah, Holland, long successful career. He's actually, I didn't realize this, but he is already in the Hockey Hall of Fame as one of the builders
Mm.
for a general manager. So yeah, he had like 3 cups when he was with Detroit. Made the playoffs every season with the Oilers, and now he's in LA. So that's a pretty smart move, I would think, for LA. Disappointing as a Knights fan that they might have made a good choice.
You know, as I guess coming from the Oilers, if you can't, or if you can't beat them, join them, kind of thing. Well, he's like he knows what the Oilers' flaws are. Maybe he can actually help the Kings beat them if they
Yeah,
match up again for a 5th time in a row.
it's like, don't worry, guys, I've got a plan
That
for
97 guy,
this
cover
next one.
him.
Yeah, we're gonna pick up some guys that can stop McDavid. Like, oh really? I didn't know those existed in the league.
I haven't found one yet, but we're
Yeah.
working.
My goodness. So yeah, we'll see. Got a short amount of time here to make a lot of big decisions with the team, but he's done it before. I think he can do it again. And then we'll shift to the head coaches. So named head coach of Vancouver is Adam Foote, former NHL player. That one surprised me a little bit. I guess he's been an assistant coach with the Canucks for like 2 or 3 years now. I did not know that he never played for them in his career. He played for uh, the Nordiques. He was actually the last active player to play for the Nordiques before he retired in like I think they said 2010 or something. And then yeah, he played for the Avs and the Blue Jackets. So
I thought
Um,
he was
he's worked well.
wasn't he coaching at a lower level and maybe affiliated with the Canucks?
He was probably with the
Um,
Abbotsford Canucks, and then he got promoted to assistant coach, and I think he was also a head coach in like the WHL. I'm just
Oh, he was
remembering things from
assistant
the presser
coach
that I
of
read.
he was the assistant coach of the Canucks.
Yeah,
Yeah. So, but yeah, before that, I don't know. Kelowna Rockets for the Western Hockey League.
yeah, okay,
But
yeah, that's the one.
um, I forget
But
who.
he knows the system. I think that could be helpful. And why not try it? I think Manny Malhotra was like a name that kept going
I
around.
heard that too. Yeah, I was trying to remember who it was.
I'm like, I don't really recognize I recognize the name, but I can't put a face to it or know like his kind of story, his background. I'm like, well, see if that's
Well, he
what they
actually
get,
did
but I
play for
guess
the
not.
Canucks, so
He did, okay.
just for a few years.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So we'll
yeah, I
see how
guess.
that goes. And then the former Vancouver head coach Rick Tocchet, announced today he's with the Philadelphia Flyers, which I think that
So
could work out pretty good.
from a uninformed view, that means Tortorella has gotten ousted.
Interesting,
Awesome.
interesting story there. With how he kind of got let go. He made a comment after one of the losses, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm not really interested in coaching this group right now. Like,
Like
Like they're
learning
not
how to
winning.
coach this type of team or
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, learning how to coach this type of group or something to that effect.
And
It
then he
was
was
pretty
fired a couple
crazy.
days later, or the next day or something.
Imagine
Which is
that.
it's weird too, because like there were only a few games left in the season at that point, so they normally just wait. But maybe like 10 games. I don't know. It was pretty close to the end.
I
But they're
mean,
like,
to make a
yeah,
comment like that though,
like all right, then you can just go. We don't need you. We're already
Right,
not
right.
making the playoffs or anything like that.
Yeah.
So
do you
Yeah.
think he gets hired again, or have we moved on from John Tortorella finally?
coaches keep getting recycled. Maybe not this year, but like I could see him still getting a job eventually. But yeah, there's still Chicago and Boston, and the Rangers just got Sullivan.
Yeah, I think it's Seattle
Yeah, I don't, yeah.
and I know Boston and
Chicago.
not Philadelphia anymore, and Chicago have the interim coaches. I think there's one other vacancy. Uh, they said it in one of the articles. I can't remember who the other one is. I don't know. Penguins? No. Yes? Did they? Oh no, because did they hire somebody to replace Sullivan?
I don't think so.
All right, I'm gonna say them then. I don't remember hearing anything about that.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Hmm.
Sidney
Uh,
Crosby staying out of Penguins coaching search. I am not a manager. I'm sure they're still gonna ask him. Like, are you okay with this, coach, Mr. Crosby?
Yeah. Would it be okay if we hired somebody? What are you guys asking me for?
I mean, he was pretty vocal about how much he liked Mike Sullivan. So
Probably a pretty good reason why he was there for so long,
yeah.
right?
Yep. So yeah, we'll see what they do, but we've got a couple other candidates around, and we'll announce those as they come in. But still, lots of names shuffling, and nice to see at least like with Foote, it's a new head coach in the league. You like to see those every once in a
Yeah.
while. Give some guys a chance.
I think the
We'll see
Bruins
if
might be another team that do something along the lines of that. Because they also
not
don't like
Sacco though, right?
no, they also don't like paying coaches a lot. So that's why they probably they might have looked at Tocchet, but he was looking for more than $4 million from Vancouver. So Bruins weren't going to give him that much probably. Because they weren't
I think
going
he
to
got a
give
5x5.
Oh yeah, no. Because they didn't even want to give Montgomery that much. So
Which I don't know about that.
it's a wonder we
Blues-
can't
Blues
keep
are-
good coaches on this team.
That's because the Jacobs family is cheap, and they
Yeah.
squeeze money out of the poor Bruins fans
Mhm.
every year, and yet they still are like one of the highest attendance teams. I saw like a graphic for that, and they were still like slightly above 100%.
I mean,
So
I guess they know they can get away with it. So we'll see. Next year will be interesting because they're raising the prices more. The team's not going to be expected to be that good. So we'll see what the arena is looking like on a game-to-game basis.
yeah,
But
I wouldn't be
Boston's
surprised if they
so
drop.
full.
Yeah, I mean, well, I could see it either way. Justin, are you familiar with Dean's Den?
Nope.
So it's our segment where I talk about my beer league team. But
Oh, nice.
we played last weekend, which I wasn't there for because I was home for Mother's Day. But I was just going to give a quick score update since I don't have any clips to show. But we won 7-4. And we had one person score 2 goals and someone get a hat trick on our team. So now we got Shane leading the team with 4 points, Chris with 2 points, with 2 goals from that game, and then we have a bunch of people, including me, with 1 point.
1 in 1 game or 1 in 2, yeah.
Well, I guess I'm still
Point per game.
technically, but they are terrible at tracking who's actually playing. So, oh no, it does have me for 1 game. Okay, yeah, point per game. See if I can keep that going.
What are you playing? Forward?
Yeah, I play center.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Panthers just scored
Oh,
5-0.
You
Put
know,
'em
that should
away.
do it.
I think that'll do her. AJ Greer.
Former Bruin.
Like I said, I know it's somewhat. I knew he was a former one of you. I was like, I don't think it's St. Louis. I'm like, and there we go. Bruins.
I think a lot of
50-50.
former like Bruin fourth liners have gone through the Florida organization because like was it Achari was there for a
Nosek?
little bit. Nosek.
Yep. Achari. Probably a handful of others.
Yeah.
And I was thinking the other day, I was like, I don't know what the answer is, but the furthest matchup between like interdivisional teams as far as distance, I was wondering if it was Florida and Boston, or like, and maybe if you do conference, like it could be like Nashville, Vancouver, or Dallas, Vancouver, or something
Oh,
like that. But I was like, I don't
Ottawa's
know.
further than Boston.
Yeah, Ottawa. Actually, probably Toronto is a little bit further.
Ottawa's farther north, isn't it?
It is further north. I wonder if the west is enough. No, it probably is still Ottawa, because they're just with how much further north they are, and I think Montreal's a little bit closer to the south, not by a lot, but a little bit. I think that's probably the furthest of the divisional ones. Like I can't think of it. Like all the Pacific teams are pretty damn close. The Central teams, I mean, you've got like Winnipeg, Dallas. That might be. Nah, I still think that's probably
It's probably similar to Florida.
closer. It's probably
Or
close.
Florida, Ottawa, yeah.
Yeah. I don't have the stats,
Back when
unfortunately.
Chicago was in their other division, I think they might have been furthest. Was it Chicago or Detroit that flipped from east to west?
Detroit definitely
Detroit.
flipped at some point.
Then maybe
yeah.
Detroit.
I think there were 3 teams. That was actually a question on a recent bar down quiz where they did they had to jump into ice water between every question, and they can't get out until all 3 of them provide enough answers.
That's brutal.
It was pretty rough. They did 10 questions. They're hopping in and out. They were going through it, but that was one of them. One of the questions was name the 3 teams that most recently or switched at the 1994 switch or whatever it was. I don't know. It was something like that, or I think that was the most recent time. It was Detroit. It was Atlanta, because it was the franchises, so they went from Atlanta Thrashers to Winnipeg Jets, so east to west there. And then there was one other one that was not a defunct one. I can't remember what it was, but there you go. Fun little trivia for you.
Have you guys watched any of the Worlds? Another playoff to follow.
Even I haven't been watching. I've seen some clips on Twitter and
I
things,
saw the
but
pasta
I just
highlight
can't.
I sent you, but the only thing I know is apparently a lot of the Bruins are playing well. Elias Lindholm has looked good too, and I forget who else is playing, but I guess some things to look forward to as a Bruins fan is hey, some of our guys haven't sucked in this, so that's cool. That's about all I've been keeping up with.
So, USA was down 5-1 against Latvia, and they ended up coming back 6-5 with the Tage Thompson hat trick. But there's been some interesting upsets and some close games.
Oh, Swayman got a shutout, I think.
Oh, nice.
And there's Dan's Mellis, however you say his name. That is again one of the prospects.
Oh yeah,
that,
Don's Loch Mellis, or
some
yeah,
Bruins
whatever.
fans are pretty high on, and he's been looking decent in that. So yeah, that's all I got on that front.
Yeah. I try my best to keep up with as much as I can, but it's I got other things to worry about.
Hockey.
Do you have a job or something? What?
Yeah, I got jobs. I got other random responsibilities, other things that I goof off with, speed running and YouTube videos. So I got plenty of good stuff to keep me occupied. But I think Bree would get pretty tired of seeing hockey constantly on the TV too. It's like, really, you're watching another freaking hockey game today? Sorry, playoffs. Like, yep, get used to it. We got another like month and a half to go here.
And you've got a puck drop to get ready for right now.
Oh my gosh, yes, I do. I'm a little nervous.
Just end your season now. It'll be fine. It'll be easier.
You have to shave tonight if it happens.
Yes, please.
Shave
I'd
at the
like to see
second.
this
If
all
they're
back.
down by 2 or more, shave at second intermission.
Shave one part at a time. So
Yeah,
start-
yeah,
start with-
okay. So
start
after
with the
first
chin.
intermission, if they're losing, shave the goatee. Second intermission, soul
Keep the soul
patch.
patch, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Has to go
second
last.
intermission, mustache. So you're just left with the
One,
soul patch for the
two,
third. And if
three.
they come back and win, then you gotta keep it.
Oh
Yeah.
god.
Yep. Yep.
You know what? Fine. Why
I'll
not?
remind you if they're down after the first. Don't worry.
Dean, you're gonna have
This
to
is-
put this as a short now. So that,
This is a huge
so that
mistake.
We got it all
Well,
planned out for you. If it's tied, though, that's fine. You don't have to do anything. But if they're losing,
No, we gotta do something there. If it's tied, you'll shave your head.
I'm not agreeing to that shit. This was never on the table.
yeah.
All right, so we found the boundary now. Okay.
Yeah, any other hair can go. I think we're about ready to wrap it up. What do you guys think? Good long episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
We-
got nothing. Thanks for welcoming me back into the hockey world.
Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely.
Hopefully you follow along a little bit with some of the off-season moves here for the Blues, and maybe we'll have you on again before the next season gets underway.
Sure. Yeah. We'll see how the moves go, and we'll go from there.
Sounds good. Yeah, I guess like, comment, subscribe. Thanks, Dean, for the reminder there. Got to get the whole
Deal.
segment.
We got a new subscriber. We're at 70 now. I looked. Saw
We
it.
are, yes. So we are still looking to hit the 100 mark. We didn't make it by the regular season, but end of the playoffs would be awesome.
Well, this is gonna be a big episode. I got a good feeling about it.
I think so too. Oh, Sam Bennett just freaking scored.
6-0.
Oh, the fans are they're just going through it. I
If-
can't believe there's still some left.
if
Oh, yeah, they're
Toronto-
showing Maple Leaf Square. They're leaving.
If Toronto doesn't score in this game, it's a back-to-back shutout for Bob.
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 Oh man, that was just a rip. Oh, Murray's in net. I didn't even see.
Oh,
They put
yep.
Matt Murray in.
Nice.
Anyways, we're wrapping up here.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. And hope to see you again real soon.
See ya.
See ya.
We haven't had to use any of your footage
In a long
in a
time,
while, which has
luckily.
been good.
I think the last time was when you forgot to record.
Yeah.
It only happened once.
I looked, I was like,
Like,
Oh.
no, this can't be.
we were speaking about backups, and my recording stopped at some point because I didn't have sufficient space on my disk to continue recording.
Oh.
So we are gonna need your video this
Well,
time.
hopefully it's decent.